My name is Jameer Pond. I'm a multimedia personality and a creative media producer. I'm going to introduce our three panelists right now. So I want to introduce Ashley Denise and Ricky Lanie. They have a show called Secret Admirer. It's Nuance Entertainment, and it is a New York-based independent film production company owned by Ashley and Ricky. They are devoted to depicting multi-dimensional characters across every genre. So give a round of applause for them as they come up. Yes. Come up now. Y'all get theme music when y'all come. Come on, let me help you. There you go. Precious. Okay. All right. So that's our first two. You know, and the young man that I'm about to bring out is going to balance out the panel, because two men, two women. That's cool. I like that. Kwame Berry. So Kwame is a native of Columbus, Ohio. He lends his screenwriting and directorial debut to CAM. Since moving to New York in 2010, he made his playwriting debut with Ursula, a thriller, and Best Play nominee in the Despis. Okay. It kind of blurred out for a minute. Despis Theater Festival, which he also starred in. So Kwame, my brother. Thank you. Pleasure to meet you. Come on, sit up there. Does anybody else need water? You guys need water? Y'all cool? Okay, just making sure. All right, so let me highlight this for you. Boom. All right. So again, the purpose of this talk back is just to talk black indie film, but we'll also be talking about black film in general. Huge year for black folk, okay? So I think the perfect opportunity is to continue to create this fire around and not letting the momentum burn out. Because you know, sometimes we only get a few years to make a big impact. Yeah. And that's kind of what we're gonna talk about today. But first, let's talk about how you guys started out as filmmakers. I'm sure it was like an arduous process, even though passionate, but getting out there to create your own projects, I'm sure it was great. So I want to hear some stories. I'm gonna let the ladies go first. Of course. We a gentlemen up here. All right.
So, hi, hello. Is this
you good? Yeah. Can we just turn that up a baby here? Pass me my water.
Hi.
Hey, you wanna?
Hello.
Oh, check. One, two.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's working out.
He's just louder than her, that's all.
Oh, I am sorry.
So, yes, my name is Ricky Lanie. This is Ashley Denise, and we have our boutique film production company called Nuance Entertainment. And I actually met Ashley right out of college when I was auditioning for a short film, And Then You Die. And we worked on that project, and then we started working on our web series, anthology. And then I think it was right around then, maybe a couple of years after our short film, when she asked me if I would be interested in joining her in Nuance Entertainment, because I was just an actor coming out of college. And I was like, of course. One thing about when I first met Ashley, I was like, this girl knows what she's doing. She's extremely talented, and she's really, really bright. She's a very intelligent woman, and I was like, and also like the type of work that she writes, like her work, her stories, I was like, I'm all about this. So that was really easy for me to like jump on board. And we've been working together ever since. What year was that? Was that 2011? Yeah, so we've been working together ever since then.
Okay. All right, Ashley. You know, you were exalted just now.
I know, right?
Yes, at the highest honor.
Thank you.
So yeah, she definitely deserves it.
We must recognize
Absolutely.
brilliant blackness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Come on, call me up. I'm making you up. I love it.
Speaking of brilliant blackness.
Here we go. I love it. Return it back.
We're just gonna sit here and praise ourselves.
Okay, no. So, Ricky is a wonderful actress. I know you didn't get to see her in this project, but we work together all the time. I did meet her right after college, which I didn't realize until later. But yeah, I asked her to join Nuance Entertainment because I started as a filmmaker at Yale, working on student films, you know, just being involved in production. I wanted to be an actress originally, but I didn't get cast in anything, so I said I gotta go the other way. You know, I gotta come from behind and just
moonwalk back.
yeah.
Little bit.
But I fell in love with production, so I started second ADing, first ADing, you know, all the jobs, PAing. I came out here in 2009, and my first job was as a set intern on Louis on FX. And then I realized that I didn't have any time to do my own work, so I had to quit and sort of get a day job.
As most of us do.
Yeah, to produce the work that we've been producing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me pass it. We're gonna just pass. There you go. There you go. All right. To the brother.
Hi, everybody.
Hey. Hi, everybody. No, but I thought, first of all, I thought your project was amazing. Like Cam. Like,
Yes, thank
really,
you.
Yeah, I saw the trailer, read up on it a little bit, and it was really powerful. So.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I just want to say that before I, ask you your journey, but
Yeah.
kudos to you.
Thank you.
But where does your journey start? What does it look like? Did you also have odd jobs that you had to work?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think we all can relate to that.
Yeah.
Similar to the two of you, acting is my first love, so that's what brought me to New York. I grew up here, kindergarten and first grade, but I was transplanted back and forth between Ohio and here.
What part? What part of it?
Brooklyn.
All right, Brooklyn. All right.
Nostrand over there.
I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah, I'm Jamaican, so like all,
Right.
So this experience and then growing up in the Midwest, I just have like a different view of life. But yeah, that's what brought me here. Stella, my co-director back there, documented.
Hey.
She and I went to SFT, New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts, and we met there, and we have a similar sensibility just to create. And going on auditions and cattle calls, all that stuff, got a little underwhelming because the whole thing with art is because it's fun to me. When it stopped being fun, I'm like, how can I work my way around this to make it work for me? So writing, directing, educating myself on how to edit, all of this stuff, just to wear many hats, you last longer, I feel. So that's what my journey looks like. This project, of course, is not something I initially saw myself doing, but I wanted to make use of my experience, get my family story out there. Beyonce Lemonade actually inspired a lot of it. I watched it, and I'm like, wait a minute, like she really, it's the title itself, like she made something out of a painful experience, something really beautiful. So Stella and I ran into each other on the street. We hadn't seen each other in a long time. She's like, hey, if you want to maybe turn an artistic light onto this, hit me up and let's work. And now we're here.
First, let's give it up for Stella for being a trooper.
That is a woman of her word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't have done this without her.
You guys both said, well, everybody said very interesting things, I think, as far as just coming together and not just taking the initial route, but you guys had to learn a lot of stuff about the business along the way.
Yeah.
For me, with journalism, it's called being a 360 journalist, where you know a little bit about like everything. But what are some of the things, like you said, you had to learn how to edit, you had to learn how to produce, and it just wasn't about acting or directing, you had to learn about the whole thing. So what are some of the skill sets that you guys have picked up along the way to produce?
So I too have had to learn how to edit. Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro, learning After Effects. There's sound editing. There's still a lot of things that I don't personally necessarily know how to do, but I'm learning that I need to
Likewise.
get all this down. Let's see. Yeah, just direct. I mean, I started out writing, and it turned into a director because I thought, who's going to make my project if I don't? So, learning as much as I can, watching as many films as I can, getting mentoring from different collectives, being around other directors, writers, performers. I've learned a lot from Ricky, as she's, a wonderful actress, and I hadn't done anything. So she's always teaching me things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's I don't know. It's still a learning process. You know, I'm still trying to just perfect it, even though perfection, I guess, is, you know, what have you. But Stella and I, we work with each other. We educate each other. Even like with screenwriting, how I learned how to write scripts. I never took a class. I just read scripts. I'm like, and what is the pacing? What do I like in pacing? What do I like? What I don't like? And I just adapted that to my own thing. So I just feel like I'll do what is necessary just to put dope stuff out there, because like you were saying, Jameer, like we're a multifaceted community.
Yeah.
Now it's a really beautiful place because we have Black Panther, Wrinkle in Time, and you know, all of these things that show us in many beautiful lights. And there's more than that too. So yeah, I don't know, it's a great and exciting place to live in, and it's a little difficult sometimes, but yeah.
So, with you mentioning A Wrinkle in Time and Black Panther, I do feel like in 2018, our stories are becoming a little more diverse. I'm not saying we're there yet, but I'm saying, you know, our stories have become a little more diverse. Is there anything you feel like the industry hasn't been able to touch upon, like with the Black experience, that you guys hopefully want to kick down the door and talk about? Anybody? I'm passing.
Well, you know, it's really interesting because Ashley and I, like I was saying before, we're working on a web series called Anthology, and it's a type of piece where you really have to see it in order to really understand what we're trying to accomplish here. It's everyday lives. We're trying to like show everyday lives of Black folks that are outside of stereotype, that are
Absolutely.
really just driven by the character. So it's a lot less plot heavy and much more character driven. And I think that if we can see that like captured a little bit more, I would be much more satisfied in where we're going as far as getting more Black content out there. And I think we're in a great place, like you're saying. We still have a lot to go. We have like a long way to go, but we're seeing our faces more. And if it's just Black content that just kind of blends genres, that just tells stories of everyday people, so that we can see our faces as frequently as the majority, I think that we can continue to see different shades of Black and what influences us, what inspires us, and continue to like continue to explore different ways of telling stories that also represent us that haven't been told yet. I want to see more of that happen, and that's really what our goal is as a production company. We're really interested in pushing new Black content that's not necessarily, you know, a big dramatic sequence occurring. It's just like, this is a Black person's life that grew up in suburbia, you know, that, you know, also likes Drake, you know, whatever the case is. It's just like many shades of Black should be represented, and that's kind of what we want to do.
100%. Wholeheartedly, I feel the exact same way. Even, this is going to sound a little strange, but when we get to the point where even there's work that, you know, may necessarily not speak to us that we can consider mediocre, when that's okay. I don't like that, but it's fine because there's so much of this that I can watch too. We haven't been afforded that yet.
No.
You know, they have.
Yeah.
And, you know, they can, you know, put many of it out and continue to do so. So until we get to that point, you know what I mean? But yes, even with shining a light, I guess, on the LGBTQ community, that's why I'm so excited about Lena Waithe.
Yeah.
And her whole movement. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
So that, I would say, and yeah, everything what you just said. Because we all have different lives, we have many similarities, but there are many people out there who have not been represented yet, who are Black. So.
Definitely, and just to make a point on what you guys said, I feel like you know, we always put in a category. We can never be vulnerable, but more so violent. You know, we like, it's so hard to just find black people who are just like funny, with like on TV without being over the top funny. Like, we live regular lives, you know. We go to the park, we play pool, like we do all the things that you see every other person doing, but yet it feels like we have been put in a box to represent one just type of polar black person. So again, I appreciate you guys for being up here, because you're turning the knob on that a little bit. One thing that I feel like has been a hot button issue amongst media and the black community has been mental health. Stepping out of the box and talking about mental health, because as we know, it is real, and as we know, it affects more of us than we ever imagined. So let's just talk a little bit about that. Have you guys seen or have been creating strong media that has been geared towards mental health awareness? And if you haven't, have you guys seen things that have represented what that looks like in the black community?
The other day, Ashley shared a post about Zazie Beetz. And if y'all don't recognize her, she's an actress that's in Atlanta right now. And she talks about her anxiety and how successful she is and how her personal life is great, but she's like living a double life, because although all those things are going really, really well, when she is outside of that, when she's alone, she suffers from extreme anxiety and depression. And I thought about that the other day, because again, this is a thing that occurs in the black community, but it's not often talked about or discussed. And I mean, although that's definitely something that I feel like we want to continue to represent and show, I do think a conversation amongst the community in not being ashamed of it, just to kind of admit the struggles. You know, I know people who will turn and say, you know, you're just being lazy, or you're not looking at things from the right lens. But it's not. It's hard, and we also have the idea that, especially women, especially black women, it's like, oh, black women are strong, and there's this idea that we have to carry so much on our shoulders.
You gotta carry everything.
Like, I cry sometimes, and I go through things, and you know, I too go through depression, and I can't hold the world on my shoulder all the time. And I think we need to own up to that. I think it's okay, and we need to represent that more in our work. And that's kind of where I just wanted that to start off with, saying that
Absolutely.
Not just me, but we as black women can't be the strong type that is perpetuated out there. Not because we are human beings. We also go through so much. You know, I had a friend who just like, you, not you. No, you could take on anything. And I'm like, maybe you don't know the full side of me, but I cry. I cry to my boyfriend all the time. I cry to Ashley all the time. I'm like, this is a crazy week. I don't know how I'm gonna get through this, because it's hard, especially hard in our current political climate. It's like trying to, you know, live your life, and yet so much is going on. For years we haven't. Right now, I'm having a difficult time recognizing this country, America, and I don't, that on top of like personal things, it's tough. It's tough for all of us, and I think we need to maybe explore that. But I just wanted to start off by saying that. And big ups to Zazie Beetz for owning up to what she struggles with, and highlighting that for the rest of us.
Yeah, that was deep. You good? Or I'm going down the line. She's going down the line.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said. And for me, I think it kind of ties in to the same idea of representing what we haven't seen before. A lot of, a few years ago, LGBTQ, like that was not the thing. That was not mainstream. Now it's like becoming more popular, but there's still a long way to go. And so mental health, you know, people who are differently able, like everything, more transparency as the norm, and having Black faces that live outside of the stereotype as the default, I think would help push us forward.
Yeah.
Not defaulting to whiteness and not defaulting to, you know, the archetypes that have been put in place for all these years. I feel like inundating the media with those images that you haven't seen before, so that it becomes normalized. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. To take it to a personal route, this journey with mental health and self-care has really been my reality over the past few years. Even like with this film, of course, like when it is shown tomorrow and everything, it's a brief look into my journey since, you know, we lost Sydney, my younger brother, the subject of the film. And the advice that I got was, you know, really eye-opening. Be strong, be strong, be strong. You know, that was just it. You know, because once the initial impact is done is when it really sinks in, when you're alone. You know, besides the Facebook posts and the reaching out and all that stuff like that, people move on with their lives and you were there with your reality. And I understood that it was important to deal with it the right way. Not to fall into vices, not to, you know, to fall into that, because it's going to take away from who I am, which is something he never would want. So, but not everybody gets to that realization. And I feel like the more that we show, the more journeys that we shine a light on, the better for us all in general.
Now, you all three of you made some really great points. Do you think that's why there's such a rush to turn what we put on TV and what we put on film into web content? Because we might not have the opportunity to tell our stories through film, you know, or mainstream film. We may not have the opportunity to tell our story on CBS. So is that why we're seeing so many impactful Black product being placed on web, in your opinion?
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Just making sure.
I mean, the accessibility of the internet and also our phones, being able to just tell the stories that we want to tell at the click of a button is really opening up a lot of doors, I think, for people in different economic situations and, you know, just all over the world, the diaspora.
Even as with Secret Admirer, our intent was to create a very low budget film. We wanted on a really micro budget, more so than we've done in the past. And so the intent was to start off with the phone, and that's why it opens up with our iPhone on Ashley's face, Amanda's face, as she's telling this story, because it's a phone, it's right there. And there is an eagerness to tell stories, and now we have the tools to do it. And maybe CBS won't take our stuff up.
Maybe they will not.
I'll say another word, but yes. Maybe, you know, but I think as they start to see that there's a continuation in producing Black content on the web, they can't ignore it after a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's the following for Black Panther, y'all.
Crazy.
It's
so
not.
about $1 billion plus.
Yeah. I mean, we were out there seeing it 2 and 3, 4 times because we're hungry for this content. You know, just to see us in a new light, and you know, us as kings and queens.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to continue to push and create more, and it's the desire. It's the desire to show ourselves in different lives and different experiences, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But of course, we're not going to stop. There's a hungriness for it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to add one more thing.
I love it.
I mean, and going back to the web, look at Issa Rae's career, Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. Look at Donald Glover. He started with Derek Comedy, a viral video from his comedy improv troupe. You know, launched his whole
Career.
life.
Yeah.
Now he has an Emmy and a Grammy, like 4 months away from each other. Two Emmys. But anyways, yeah. So I feel like it's kind of the reverse that's happening. It's you go out, you make your story, and then someone's going to find you when you have the following, and then you're going to bring your whole team with you, and it's just going to go from there.
Oh, yeah. And I feel that's what we've always done in the beginning, is using our tools to work for the best of us, period. And you get a lot of freedom when you're producing your own content, like on the internet. The more cooks that are in the kitchen, like the more you have to sort of maybe not go that far, maybe, you know, pull back to make things a little more digestible. So like, it's beautiful what you guys are doing because you're totally in control, and then people are gonna come to you. And, you know, and with me, I plan on going down that journey as well, because you gotta get it out.
And it's interesting that you mentioned Black Panther, because I was having a conversation with another black person, and I saw Black Panther 3 times, and I was hyped to say I saw Black Panther 3 times. But we had an interesting discussion. He was like, I don't know why you saw Black Panther 3 times. I mean, all that money is going to a white studio, and we don't have that much control. And I thought it was more of the representation point of view that I appreciated, that I loved, and that was represented. But to the people who say, you know, we're still not in control of our own media, even with a massive hit like Black Panther, what do you say to that? Because I'm not in the film world, so I couldn't eloquently say, hey, this and this and that, but I definitely spoke about the representation aspect of that. So,
I mean, you can look at it from that way, but I wouldn't get caught up in that, because the representation is key. You know, I can't even remember the last time that I saw everybody like so excited and so supportive over something like that, because like we're being seen as being beautiful, we're being seen as being strong, not as sidekicks or window dressings or anything like that. So absolutely, I don't know if you guys read this, probably. It's the first film, I think, to be shown in 25 years in Saudi Arabia. 35 years?
Yep.
Absolutely, that's amazing. So, yeah, I think it's a great thing. I think that's a great reason to go and see something like that.
Yeah, I would say I totally agree, and also I mean, for me personally, I am interested in like becoming like Oprah, owning your own channel, owning the distribution channels, like with what Ava DuVernay is doing with Affirm Array, just like making decisions from the top down that we see on TV and in films.
Exactly. Lena Waithe talked about that too in her Vanity Fair. Yeah, she's like, that's the next step. Like, it's necessary to get us in that room instead of just one or so.
Right.
It'll expand. Like, there's no choice.
Can I also expand on that? And I wouldn't discredit inspiration, you know, to the younger generation.
Exactly.
right.
Like, you have children who are seeing this and saying, wow, I want to be an actor. Wow, I want to be Ryan Coogler. Wow, I want to be a producer. I want to go ahead and continue to represent that. So if they see that and they are in love with it, these like kids are watching. You know, I don't know if you guys have seen it with Winston Duke and the little boy who was doing the scene.
The Mbaku challenge.
Yes, the Mbaku challenge. Like, this kid loved that scene, and it was so adorable to watch him to replay it on Instagram. And, you know, Winston Duke shouted him out, and it was so cute. But like, that could be the next Chadwick Boseman or Ryan Coogler. So to see it 3 or 4 times can't be a bad thing in my mind. I mean, granted, you know, the money may not be going straight to, you know, entirely black folks. It's going to a huge studio, but we can't discredit or discount rather the amount of lives that are being inspired through this film and through, you know, big films with us at the forefront. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, when I was growing up, we had the Black Power Ranger and Kwame from Captain Planet.
Yes.
Like, and that was it, you know? So to see a all-black film, and predominantly black film, and you have a black hero, you have a black antagonist, you have dominant black women in roles that I don't think we've seen as strongly portrayed. And you saw a black backbone, like you saw intelligence, you saw complexity. So when and that's the point I wanted to make with the gentleman I was talking to, is that the representation of that alone, like my inner child was like, I want to be like Killmonger, I want to be like T'Challa, I want to be like M'Baku. And we haven't had a chance to see that, I don't think, on a wide scale on a film thus far.
Sorry, I just wanted to add one more thing too. Like you were saying, and I think it doesn't just apply to, you know, the black people that see it. It applies to everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Like a small little white girl wants a what's her name?
Nakia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A doll of her. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you start seeing the zeitgeist and like everything, the atmosphere, just the way that black people are portrayed. It permeates through everyone and their, you know, their visions of us.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely true. You guys are clearly here for a reason. Shout out to Black Web Fest, which I think is an amazing platform and has been thus far for promoting black media. I want to get into you guys' projects just a little bit and talking about the basis why you wanted to do the project that will be on Black Web Fest Festival. It's all right. Take your time, sister. But I want to just hear a little bit about Secret Myra and Cam. So I'm gonna start with the ladies again. I'm sorry. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So Secret Admirer that you guys saw today, we filmed that in December, and now it's making its festival circuit rounds. And what inspired us? Is that the question? Okay. We just wanted to shoot something before the end of 2017 because we've been working on a bigger project called The Anthology, our web series. So we wanted to do something really short. This is like 8 minutes and 59 seconds. Something that we could produce for a really low budget. I think we made it for less than $200. We shot it with iPhones, with GoPros. My boyfriend has like a bunch of GoPros because he's doing VR work. And we just popped those suckers up and got everything done in a couple takes. We shot it in one day. I think it took 13 hours. I edited it, and then we screened it like 2 days later at our fundraiser. Try to bring in some more money for Q4. Yeah, and that's what's going on with that. And then we're in post-production for our web series Anthology, which is our bigger project.
Gotcha. What's interesting about what you said is that I think filmmaking has now evolved. Like you see major films and also web media and content being shot only on phones. I have an Android, so probably not an Android, but iPhones and GoPros and things like that. Shout out to my Android users. We're here. There we go in the back. Raise the roof. Okay, we got a few in here. But I think the evolution of filmmaking, right from our own hands, things that we use every day when we wake up, put down before we go to bed, has evolutionized the way we see media. Do you guys plan on using phones more to dominate projects as well?
I think we have to, because we want to create work that reflects the world we live in, and we're always on our phones.
Always. Yeah. Boom. Makes sense. All right. So my brother,
Yes.
let's talk a little bit about Cam. Now again, like I said, I've read up and just a little sort of trailer. My heart goes out to you and your family, by the way, and I'm sure this was a project to help you kind of struggle with the pain of losing a sibling. So talk to us about the story and a little bit about why you decided to do this.
Thank you, Jameer. So after the initial event, I had to kind of go off of the grid and just take the time, still taking the time, it's a process. but I'm an artist, you know, and so was he. And that was definitely something that bonded us, you know, from childhood. His was music, mine was film. So going back to Miss Stella Isabella, she saw that. She's like, you know, I feel that would be a beautiful thing for you to do. She didn't rush me, she didn't pressure me into doing anything. She's like, when the time is right, just hit me up and then we can do it. So the backbone of the film is journals, like everything that I just wrote down just to get through the days, and listening to his music. He rapped and things like that, talking to family members, and I just started to piece it all together. Had meetings with Stella, and then like around March of last year is when we first started filming. And then like I was in and out of town working, things like that, so we had to, it was like a stop and start kind of thing. So it took a minute, and as far as a budget, I don't even know what that was, to be honest with you guys. I think like a wing and a prayer was the budget, and just sheer will, and a lot of favors. Predominantly, a lot of the people working on this I didn't know before this. So it was just them listening to my story, you know, and Stella, you know, getting them in. They were like, yeah, like we'll work with you. And I was really grateful, and am grateful that it looks the way that it does. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, so it was just, it's very personal, so it's a little strange to be on this side of it, to have people see it and things like that. I was a little afraid because when things are a little too specific, I'm like, maybe people won't get it, but specificity is universal. You have like that film Girl Interrupted, if you guys know Angelina Jolie and all that, that's from that woman's journals, that's her life. And everyone, you know, felt attached to that film in some sort of way, so yeah, just a, you know, a journey.
Stella, can you come up here and say a word, if you will, because we didn't check. Can you give it up for Stella, please, who not only worked on this project, but was taking video of the whole panel. Please. Stella, coming out here with the baby hair, pumping style right here. Stella, introduce yourself first of all.
Hi. Oh, I've never heard myself before like this.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm used to being behind of everything, making it happen. My name is Stella. Hi. I went to school with Kwame. Kwame, I say this so much, but he's such a beautiful soul, and I have connections with people that I meet, and I'm a storyteller. Everybody knows me as Stella the storyteller because I always got a story whether it's true or not.
Stella just be lying, y'all.
But I like to express myself, and it's really hard to work with people who don't understand you very well, and people who just want to get paid ridiculous amounts of money for just work. We had no budget. I did it on purpose. Everybody that I reached out to, I had a great teacher in college that told me, use your friends in a positive way. You know, someone with a camera that wants to help you out, reach out to them. What can you do for them that they can help you back? You know someone who could edit, you know someone who could screenwrite. It's a bunch of things, and it's a bunch of people that I put together. I like to bring people together. If we could work for free, free is my favorite amount. So we did what we could, and the reason we took 7 months to film, and in total it was 7 days. Because of people with scheduling, not getting paid, which is completely understandable. I'm not gonna force you to work for free. I know people got jobs. You all posted, everybody has a job. My job, I'm blessed and lucky to be able to do art 24/7. I do film, I do painting, I do wall murals. So every day I wake up, it's just I live and breathe art, and I want other people to be able to do that. You know, I feel that everybody should be happy when they're at work, and if art is what makes you happy, art is a job. Whether if it's film, whether if it's photography, whether you're sketching on a wall or even on a napkin, where all you do is no stick figures, or you film things with your phones every day. I think it's brilliant that people are filming everything with a cell phone. Do you know how much a camera is?
Yeah.
Facts. Yes.
Lots of money, thousands of dollars. I mean, which is close to a phone anyway, because my phone costs like almost $800.
Yeah.
So I feel that bring putting this project together on a low budget, it had nothing to do with making money or being shown. I wanted to show his story. I told him when I heard that his brother passed, we did actually bump into each other in the city. And I came up to him and I was like, listen, you want to do this project, let's do it. People are telling him, when someone passes away, it's the usual things. They tell you the same stuff. It's like, it's not really get over it, but it's more in a positive way. You'll be all right. They're thinking about you. Stay tough, stay positive. You don't have to. I actually told him, I'm like, cry. You don't gotta be strong. You could take a time to just express yourself in any way. And I thought that his film was the best part to go and express everything. It's all his thoughts, it's all his feelings, it's all his colors. I just wanted that to be a visualization that came true. And it's hard for people who are not, I know I'm not as dark skinned and I apologize.
You don't have
But I'm a mixed ethnicity and I feel like I don't get categorized anywhere. So when I was in school for acting, it's like, I can't play the white roles because I'm not white enough. I'm too ethnic, I'm too sassy, I'm too Latina. And I can play other roles, but it just depends. And I don't like that. Why are you categorizing me? Nobody should be categorized. So that's what we started writing, because you know what? We're gonna do films that we feel like we fit for. You guys made a perfect example. Yes, I grew up in the suburbs, and I'm not the only white person in the suburbs. Have lots of different, I grew up in Queens. So if you guys know Queens, Queens is a melting pot.
Shout out to Queen.
Shout out to
Queens is a melting pot. So my vision is to show all ethnicities, black, white, Asian, Arab, everything, because that's what I see every day. And I feel like we were actually just talking about our next projects of actually doing just reboots of, we could do The Notebook. Doesn't gotta be two white people.
Dad, make a good point.
You guys all would have cried. I did not see The Notebook.
I didn't see it either. But a lot of
But
people
you
did
guys
cry.
would all still cry if it was a Spanish girl and a black guy.
Yeah.
You know? Titanic, any other movie. We are down to shoot movies just to switch ethnicities, just to show people the light. This still would have been a good movie if it wasn't this person acting.
Gotcha.
And that's our goal. That's our goal with his film, to show what you want, what's inside his heart, and to let it out. And everybody else who creates their film, she's showing her light. She's showing her light. Everybody needs to show who they are.
Yeah.
And basically, that's it. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Stella. What, Stella? You had a lot to say. You can stay here, Stella. Before I, let you guys go, because we are on a time limit, I wanted to give an opportunity for anybody in the audience that had any questions or comments or concerns in the business. So I wanted to do that. Does anybody have any questions? Yes. You have a comment? I'm gonna give you I'll walk over there. Here we go. All right. Introduce yourself first.
Hi everyone. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Linda, and I'm an actor. You talked about the first issue that I wanted to talk about, which is mental health. It personally touched me, my family. My sister's bipolar. And for the last 7 years, my family has been battling with it in and out of institutions. And one of the biggest things was the stigma of mental health. I'm Haitian Dominican, and it was just something that we never talked about. So because we talked about that, I'll move on to the next issue that I want to talk about, which is identity. I loved the film, Secret Admirer. I like social media. The biggest thing that I see in social media is that there's a lot of illusions. We put up what we want people to see about us, but we don't really know what's going on with people, what's going on with their heart. Like when I hear you talk about The Notebook, and that other actors can play that role. What we're really talking about is really humanity. It's, yes, we're this ethnicity, yes, we're this gender, but really we're the human race. And what does that really mean? Who are we really inside? What's our spirit? And that's what you're talking about, the level, how you connect with people. A lot of time we miss that. We walk the street, we don't look at people in the eye, we don't connect. We have people in our homes, we don't connect. So that's a big issue for me, especially as an actor, as a human being, as a mother, as a daughter. Just living, taking the time to be with people. Sometimes it's weird because I'm the loudest in the room laughing, and I'm like, oh, nobody else is laughing as loud, but I'm living.
Yeah.
You know, after being in corporate America, that's why I clapped like that when you said that.
Thank you.
CBS, 12 years as an executive, and I'm free, and I'm living, doing my dreams, pursuing it every day. You know, so I can say that it's my testimony, it's my life. And I can be open and share myself with people and not have to put on that mask, that public executive face, you know? And who's out to get me and all that corporate, because I'm here, you know, I'm free and I'm with you guys, and I'm so thankful. So thank you.
But actually your journey too, definitely. Anybody else have a question or comment or concern, anything like that? Everybody's just quiet, taking notes. All right, I like that too. All right, so before we let you guys go, I want to know where can they find you, how can they see future projects, and yeah, just future projects coming up. Let's talk about that. Stella, let me get a mic. Let me get the mic, Stella.
Are you sure I talk too much?
Okay, well, never mind. I'm gonna give the mic to Stella. I'll let you go first.
Well, yeah, my Stella's handle, Orphic Films.
Oh, yes.
Her production imprint, so anything that she will be working on.
Yeah, that'd be at orphicfilms.com, or I'm sorry, at Instagram, that's what I meant to say.
Okay.
At Orphic Films, plural. We also, all of our regular Instagrams.
Right, Kwame Berry, Kwameberry. Everything that I work on will be on there. Yeah, okay.
We're Nuance Entertainment at NUANSE, ENT. The nuance is the S instead of the C. Everything we do, yeah.
I like that. It's fun.
Everything is on our website, on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook, all of that. We're working on our web series, Anthology. It's our big project. It's coming out this summer, fingers crossed. And yeah. And you have your
I'm also an actress, and I have a couple of things coming up too. A show called The Diplomats that's going up at the Downtown Urban Arts Festival at the end of this month, April 27th. So if you'd like to come. I recently won an award for that same play too.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget that.
It was for outstanding lead performance in a play. So I'm very excited about that. We'd like to come out. It's one night only, unfortunately, but it's a great festival, and I'm really looking forward to it. And you can find more of my information at Ricky Lene, RICKI, Lene, LYNEE, .com, or on Instagram. It's all the same.
Ladies, gentlemen, okay, my brother, I thank you guys for being here with us. I hope you guys in the audience have learned some things.